was ridiculing him, and they were about to kill him without even a second thought. They considered him just to be like an animal. But the goddess of material creation, Kali Devi, honored him and worshipped him and protected him. And he walked into the forest, and he was on the bank of a river. At that time, a king named Rahugana of the Sindhu province, he was on a palanquin being taken to Kapil ashram. While they were going, somehow or other, one of the 4 men holding the palanquin was not able to do so. So 3 of them, they had to find another. So they looked everywhere, and there they happened to see Jada Bharat. So they grabbed him and forced him to carry the pole. Now they saw he was very strong and very beautiful person. But because he looked so dull, they thought he was perfect for the service. As they were walking, every 3 steps, Jada Bharat stopped just to see if any ants may be crawling on the road. But the problem is the other 3 men kept walking. So when 3 people walk carrying a palanquin and one person stops, the whole palanquin became very turbulent. And Maharaj Rahugana, the king, became very angry. What? Why are you stopped? Why are you carrying like this? Why are you shaking me like this? And the palanquin holders were really afraid. They said, we are doing everything exactly right, but this new man, he's the one who keeps stopping. So Rahugana focused his glance at Jada Bharat and said, what? Don't you know how to even hold the palanquin? Don't ever do that again. He just looked, didn't say anything. They started walking. 3 steps later, he stopped. It wasn't just that if there was ants, he stopped to see if there was ants. He would look ahead 3 steps and then stop 3 steps and look ahead, just make sure. He did not want to harm anyone. And again, Maharaj Rahugana was very angry. It is said that he became overwhelmed by the motive passion. And he began to sarcastically criticize Jada Bharat and threaten him. He said, is it that you cannot carry this palanquin because you are so small and you are so weak? Do you not know that I am the master, I am the king, and you are my servant? I have warned you again and again, and you continue to disobey my order? Are you a madman? Are you a fool? Do you not know who I am? If you do not obey what I say, then you will be punished for your disobedience, just like Yamaraj punishes the wicked. They started to go again. 3 steps later, he stopped. The king was beside himself. And then Jada Bharat, as far as we know, this was practically the first time in his life he spoke. He was a grown man. There's no record of him talking to anybody else. He looked at the king and he said, my dear king. And he honored him for his position. But then he chastised him. He says, you are speaking like you are a very learned, experienced person, but you are a fool. You don't know what you're talking. He said, what are you saying? Just like this palanquin, the body you're talking about is just like a palanquin that's holding the passenger. What you're saying is actually true. Because the soul, the eternal soul, the source of life, is neither strong or weak, is neither fat or slender, is neither big or small. This material lump of flesh called the material body is what you are so much attached to. But I have no such attachment. I am attached to the eternal soul. And the soul is transcendental to all the considerations of the body. You call yourself my master and I am your servant. It is all temporary. Why should we take it seriously? Because in my next birth, I may be the master and you may be the servant. When King Rahugana heard this, because he had a very strong attachment to hearing discourses of the absolute truth, he was actually a very pious king. He realized, this is a self-realized soul, an avaduta. I offended him. He came right off of his palanquin and prostrated himself at the lotus feet of Jada Bharat, and with folded hands begged forgiveness. He said, I am not afraid, King Rahugana. He said, I am not afraid of the thunderbolt of King Indra. I am not afraid of the serpentine, sharp-pointed trident of Lord Shiva. I am not afraid of the punishments of Yamaraj. I'm not afraid of fire. I'm not afraid of weapons. But I have great fear of committing an offense to a great devotee of the Lord. King Rahugana surrendered himself to Jada Bharat as his guru, and very submissively asked him how to get out of this illusion. What is best for my spiritual life? Please instruct me. And Jada Bharat gave beautiful instructions. He explained the reason for all the problems that we are all suffering in this world is the uncontrolled mind. When the mind becomes contaminated by the three modes of material nature, it becomes like an independent, uncontrolled, wild elephant. Tramples our good qualities, obscures knowledge of our real well-being. Because of this uncontrolled mind, becoming so much attached to the things of this world, it is the mind alone that forces the spirit soul to transmigrate through the different species among 8,400,000. He said that when the mind is uncontrolled, it is like a lamp that does not burn properly. Such a lamp, the fire within the lantern just makes the whole glass of the lantern black. and gives out no light. But a lamp whose wick is situated in nice pure ghee, it doesn't give out any black smoke. It just illuminates, lights up the whole room. In the same way, when the mind is uncontrolled, it obscures all knowledge and incriminates us in karma. But when the mind is under control, it illuminates our life. The mind is our greatest enemy. But when it is controlled, it is our best of friends. And he explained to King Rahugana that the source of this entire cosmic manifestation, the source of everything that exists, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, who is seated in the Paramatma within every living being's heart. And one who learns properly how to control the mind fixes the mind in the instructions of the spiritual masters and in remembering the Supreme Lord. In this regard, Srila Prabhupada, he writes that the uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O King, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do this with great care. And Srila Prabhupada explains that there is one easy weapon with which the mind can be conquered. Do you know what that weapon is? That's not what Prabhupada says. Srila Prabhupada says the one weapon that will conquer the mind is neglect. The mind is always telling us to do this or that. Therefore, we should be very expert in disobeying the mind's orders. Gradually, the mind should be trained to obey the orders of the soul. It is not that one should obey the orders of the mind. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that to control the mind, one should beat it with shoes many times just after awakening and again before going to sleep. In this way, one can control the mind. This is the instruction of the Shastras. If one does not do so, one is doomed to follow the dictations of the mind. Another bona fide process is to abide strictly by the orders of the spiritual master and engage in the Lord's service. Then the mind will automatically be controlled. Srila Prabhupada explained this in a very nice way. How to neglect the dictations of the mind. By keeping the mind fixed in positive spiritual thoughts, words, and actions. The path of bhakti is so simple and sublime. Param drisvani vartate. It allows us to keep the mind engaged in higher taste, higher experience. Jada Bharat, he not only taught this, but he lived by it. His mind was constantly engrossed in remembering the Lord. And in this age of Kali, the most accessible, powerful, and simple way of keeping the mind in remembrance of Krishna is to chant the holy name. Our Pune Yatra is about to end in just a couple hours. Let us take this serious lesson with us. It is the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness. Manmanabhava madbhakto madhyashimnam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyoshi. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage to me. This way you will come to me without fail. The most powerful lessons of this story are critical to our spiritual progress. One is to be attentive, to utilize our time very effectively, not to allow anything or anyone in this world to divert our attention away from our sadhana. Even someone as great as Bharat Maharaj fell away from Krishna consciousness and had to suffer an animal body. We need the association of devotees to keep our sadhana strong. This is the very, very strong instruction of Srila Prabhupada and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Our sadhana is our spiritual foundation. If you have a strong foundation, any storm can come, and you will have the strength to endure it. But even if you have the strength, you have to still make that choice. The choice never comes automatically. Maya will attack. If you have good sadhana and you make the right choice, you will be able to withstand it and make progress through the situation. But if you make the right choice, however strong you are, you will fall. But if you're not spiritually strong by your sadhana and association, even if you want to make the right choice, you will be conquered. That is the power of Maya. So we need the association of devotees, and we need to regularly take shelter of the holy name of the Lord and the Srimad Bhagavatam for our spiritual survival. Another message here in this story is that Devarshi bhutapti nirnam pitradam na kinkari nayam nanicharajan. That by worshiping Krishna, you give the greatest happiness to all the devatas. There is no need to worship others, but we should always offer respect to all the demigods, because the demigods are devotees too. If you disrespect a demigod, you are committing Vaishnava aparad. We honor, we respect the devatas, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us by his own example. But we know that surrendering to Krishna, we get the highest benediction of all the devatas. Another lesson is how dangerous Vaishnava aparad is. Actually, the Srimad Bhagavatam tells that what happened to those dacoits, their heads got cut off, their blood was drunk by female demons and witches. So that's what happens to anyone who offends Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Now we may not see that happening before our eyes, but in spirit that's what happens in due course of time. So we should be very much concerned. Jada Bharat never offended anyone. He simply was the well-wishing friend of everyone. And when he finally met someone that was receptive to him, he spoke. And how forgiving was Jada Bharat? King Rahugana was blaspheming him, criticizing him, threatening him. Now, how many of you are nice to someone who does that to you? But he was Trinarapi Sunichena, Taror Ibasihishna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. He was humble, he was tolerant, he was ready to offer all respect to others, and he didn't care. As Jayapataka Maharaj said, we should not expect respect for ourselves. When you expect, Maharaj was saying, you will definitely be frustrated because you never consistently get what you expect. The more you expect, the more anxiety your life will be filled with. Instead of expecting, we should just accept. Perform our service and accept what Krishna gives, what he sends, and be grateful. Then we can always be happy in any situation. This is the consistent quality of Vaishnavas. Yesterday there was the drama about Haridas Thakur. He was being beaten and whipped, and they were blaspheming and trying to kill him, and he was praying for their welfare. That is Vaishnava. Nityananda Prabhu, they were blasting him, beating him on the head, trying to kill him, and he was praying for their forgiveness. A devotee is a friend. Jada Bharat explained to Rahugana that this material existence is like a forest. And a materialistic person is like a merchant who sells his wares, makes some profit, and then tries to invest it and enjoy it in the forest of material existence. But there are so many mosquitoes and lions and tigers and snakes and dacoits in the form of envious people. Whoever you are, whether you're devotee or not devotee, try to do something good in this world and see what the result is. People will envy you. Hare Krishna. Sometimes we tell the story of that king in France. He was so great. He built a magnificent palace, which even hundreds of years later, still millions of people go there a year to see this palace. And he was inviting all the noblemen and kings and princes from other places to enjoy. And he would just give them so much good food and good intoxication and good entertainment. And he wanted to impress them. But what was the result? He did impress them. With envy. They were envious. He had more than them. And ultimately, those same men, they inspired a revolution that would kill the king and kill the queen. Hari Hari. So those people we try to impress by our material expertise in this material world, they usually become envious. And even if you don't try to impress them, do anything substantial, and people will envy you. And they'll try to destroy you according to their capacity. Sometimes they kill you. Sometimes they speak horrible things against you. Sometimes they make public campaigns against you. Sometimes they spread lying rumors about you. Sometimes they try to undermine what you're doing and get you to lose everything. Srila Prabhupada explains that is the basic principle of material existence, envy. Duryodhana was envious. And that was the principle in which the Bhagavad Gita was spoken. How to deal with the envy of Duryodhana and all the people he affected. So yes, in this forest of material existence, very difficult place. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said this material existence is no place for a gentleman or a lady. He said it's like a latrine. Yes, a latrine is a dirty place, even if you keep it nice and clean. Just like at Radha Gopinath Temple. For years we've been trying to keep our public latrine clean. Clean latrine. Very difficult. In India, somehow or other. In the West, it's not so difficult, but India, they have these Brahminical standards that they don't know how to apply properly. Especially devotees. The hardest to keep a devotee bathroom clean. That's my realization. Because what happens is devotees, after they complete what they came for, they have these Brahminical standards where they have to wash their feet. Yes? And the way they wash their feet, we have a place where they can wash their feet, but they usually don't bother to get there. They just, from the sink, they just take water and start throwing it on their feet. And because they walk barefoot, to the bathroom, their feet are kind of dirty, and therefore all this mud gets on the floor. Yes? And no matter how much you clean it, the next devotee comes in and washes his feet in the middle of the floor. I don't know if ladies do that because I haven't been in your bathroom. Very difficult. But even if you have the cleanest bathroom, who stays there? Well, let's have our meeting in the latrine. It's a place, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, you go in and you get out. You do your business and get out. The material world, it's a dirty place. Why is it a dirty place? Because the basic principle of why people are here is envy. And it is that envy alone that causes so much problem in this world. It is the root of lust, anger, false pride, arrogance, war, hatred, and all these karmas that come along with it. So Jada Bharat was completely non-envious. And Krishna tells Arjuna, you can understand this message only because you have no envy. So Jada Bharat, even though he was being threatened and blasted by King Rahugana, he was the best friend. He spoke to enlighten him. He cared nothing about what happened to him. He was only concerned with the welfare of that man who was attacking him. That is another great lesson of this story, the quality of a Vaishnava, to forgive in the spirit of a servant under all circumstances, on a personal level. And we also learn about the nature of the mind. Our upliftment or our downfall is all based on how we respond to the mind. Nam Sankirtan is the prime benediction for all humanity because it helps us to neglect the order of the uncontrolled mind and fill it with the grace of Krishna. So please, as you are leaving from Pune Yatra, take these instructions very seriously. We need each other. We should create a loving, forgiving family based on these principles. There's a couple people I would like to call on to speak. Is Nilesh Prabhu here? Yeah. Where? Can you please come here? He has an interesting story. During the terrorist attacks in Bombay, he was a member of the anti-terrorist squad. He was in the Taj Mahal Hotel, face to face with a gun in hand, fighting the terrorists. Now, while he's coming, hopefully he's coming, he has some nice realizations. But the mind is kind of like the Taj Mahal Hotel. And somehow or other, we have allowed these terrorists to come in the form of lust, envy, anger, pride, greed, and illusion. And sadhana bhakti means to fight those terrorists. Nilesh went to join his duty. He left. I guess you'll have to hear the story another time. Does anyone know the story? Anyways, he was telling me very much detail. I won't go into so many details. But he was face to face with these terrorists. And they were throwing hand grenades and shooting their weapons. And when they would throw these hand grenades, there would be so much smoke, the police wouldn't even know where they were or where they were being attacked from. So he was with two other police, and the smoke was there, and they were being shot at. And he started to chant Lord Nrsingadev's prayers. And on his cell phone, his cellular phone, he has the Nrsinga mantra, so he turned it on. And he kept it on really loud. Namaste Narasingaya. He was playing it and meditating and praying on Lord Nrsingadev. And when the smoke cleared, his two assistants, his two associates who were on either side of him, were shot dead. But he was alive. A pillar happened to be right in front of him and blocked all the bullets that would have killed him. And what Nilesh said to me was, just like Lord Nrsingadev appeared from a pillar to protect Prahlad, he appeared as a pillar to protect me. So in the Taj Mahal Hotel of our mind, when we're being attacked by Maya with the bullets and the hand grenades of lust and envy and anger and pride and greed and illusion and all the smoke of confusion that comes when all of these things happen, our only shelter is to take shelter of the Lord and His holy name.